Hey everybody, this is Bulldog here, and today I am super excited that I get to introduce to you guys Vulcano. A lot of you have been asking for me to get you guys into games earlier, at the earliest possible stage, and that is one reason why I chose this project here, because this is the first chance to get involved. Their pre-sale is coming up in 4 days. And there are significant discounts for being one of the first buyers. There are some other benefits as well. They have not held their token sale. You can actually get whitelisted for the token sale by participating in the NFT pre-sale, which is something that I really like. So this is your chance to get into a game from the very, very beginning at the cheapest possible price. So being in a game at the beginning is certainly great, but it doesn't matter if it's not a good game, if it's not a quality project, right? So why did I choose this game? Because there are tons of games coming at me wanting me to do promo videos. I am very, very selective about which ones I accept. And anybody who is familiar with my channel will see right from this screen, from their website, why this game jumped out at me. For those who are not familiar with my background, my channel started covering a Star Wars strategy game. Vulcano is a strategy game here, and just look at this. Look at what we've got here. Does this not give you Star Wars vibes? We've got, I mean, that's not really a lightsaber. That looks like a sword there, but it's still lightsaber-esque. We were talking about a fight between the light and the darkness. I mean, this is obviously why it grabbed my attention. But it's not just about having a cool theme, a theme that I'm interested in. As I looked deeper into this game, they have an economic model that I have been trying to push some game to do for quite some time. And I am excited that this is a project that looks like they're finally going to take that step. So we're going to take a look at their economy and why I think this can be very successful. So let's jump in and let's actually go to their white paper here. So first we're going to talk about gameplay first, and then we'll get into the economy a little bit. First, I actually want to start off with the pre-sale, right? Because you guys want to know, before we cover everything, what is it that you can actually buy here in 4 days? You can buy land, you can buy a team, you can buy your characters, and you can buy weapons. And we're gonna talk about these in a little more detail, but you can see the price over here. You get 50% discount for being the first ones to buy, being the ones to get in early before they even have gameplay to show off, because that's always risky, right? I know there's going to be a lot of complaints saying, oh, I don't want to invest in anything before I see any gameplay and that type of thing. And I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I completely understand that. So a lot of you might want to wait towards later in the development if you don't want to go and take those risks. But for those of you who are willing to do so, you can get some very, very good discounts. And so you're going to be able to pull some chests here, and you can see that there are different chests. They give different possibilities. But this right here is what I also want to highlight as well. Users who own a rare, legendary, or mythical character will secure a place in the tokens whitelist, because the token has not, the public token sale has not happened yet. And we'll get into that a little bit as well, but I know a lot of people are always wanting to participate in that. This is a way that you can get involved, and I really like that, because that means a lot of the, or at least some, we don't know percentages, but some of the token pre-sale is going to go towards people who have NFTs as well, who are very likely to be playing the game and not just investors on a launch pad. So I like that. But anyways, enough with that. I wanted to highlight that so as we go through the gameplay, you can see which of these you can actually buy at the beginning. But let's go in here. Let's get into the gameplay. Let's look at the characters. So the NFTs are going to be as a card format, and each of these characters are going to have different attributes. So, I mean, I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but you can see it's your typical style, right? You have different attributes that are going to change how a character performs in battle. And you've got these plus their weapon. You can then equip different weapons. So that's going to allow you to then take a character and modify them further based on how you want them to perform in battle. So these characters and these weapons are some of these NFTs that you can buy. And these characters will have different roles. I mean, you've got your common thing, your tank, your healer, support, range, assassin, fighter, things that we're all very common with. And you're going to take these into 3 versus 3 auto battles against your opponent. We'll get that. That'll be down here in gameplay here in just a second. I'm trying to go through this fairly quickly. You guys, if you want to see every last detail, you can go into their website and look at this yourself. And again, this is talking about how weapons can modify everything. So then you're going to go in. We're going to skip past lands here for a second. You'll go into gameplay, and there's going to be 3 rounds that will be played. And you have to set up not only which characters you want. You can take, no matter how many characters you own, you can take 6 characters initially into the battle, and then you'll be able to choose 3 of them for your rounds. And you're gonna be able to position them, say how you want them to attack, equip them with the weapons, and then they go into battle, and it's an auto battle to decide. This is an alpha, by the way. Now, once we get into, again, it says once we get into the beta version, it's going to be expanded. You're actually going to be able to manage it in real time. But our first version here is going to be an auto battler, and the way it's going to talk about positioning different things. So it's a strategy game. You have to position your characters and equip your characters to kind of combat what you think your opponent's going to do. And there's going to be 3 rounds. So the first round, one player sets their team first, the other team gets to see that and then can try to counter it. In round 2, it's flipped around, the other person sets theirs first, and then the next person, or the first player, tries to counter that. And then if both players can successfully counter, if you split those, there is a third one where you're both submitting blind teams where you can't see what your opponent has submitted. So you've got to kind of look at what they did the first 2 times and see if you can kind of predict with what characters they have, how they're going to play things. And then it can be pretty interesting. So there's hopefully going to be a lot of strategy. So it seems like it can be a fairly fun and quick and straightforward strategy game. Again, it's hard to evaluate how fun something's going to be until we truly see gameplay, but I'm excited about the potential there. It looks like it can be something that's not necessarily very complicated to learn, but it can be complex to try and predict your opponent and all sorts of things there. So I think you can have some interesting gameplay. And then we'll have lands. And what lands does is allows your characters to recharge. So there's going to be an energy system, and you have to put your characters on your lands in order for them to rest and build up that energy. Everybody gets free lands that has 3 spots for the characters to rest. So you can basically be recharging 3 characters at a time if you have that single land. But if you go buy more lands, it gives you the opportunity to recharge more characters. So you can play with more. If you have a mythic land, you can rest up to 24 characters at a time. You can have a lot more options. You can do a lot more battles there. So then it says they'll also grant access to tournaments as well. And then it says unused land spaces could be capitalized in the future. So that could be interesting. So the way I don't know exactly, they don't go into detail, but the way I interpret that is you could essentially charge other players to rest their characters on your land. So it could be a source of passive income there. You guys know I love my land. I love my passive income in these games. So that's something that's fairly intriguing to me. I'm kind of interested to see that. You're also going to have spaceships. We don't really know how those are going to work, but that's the basics of the game. So seems like something that could be fairly simple, straightforward, and could work well. In order for it to work well, though, it has to have a good economic system. And if we come down here, I am actually fairly thrilled about one major thing that they are going to do. And let me just show one of their kind of trailers or clips here. Trailer is not the right word, but let me just show this video here that can kind of help talk about one of the things they want to do here.
We are presenting you the economy of Vulcano, a play-to-earn game designed with a sustainable economy where you can play, enjoy, compete, and earn money. Vulcano is not like any other traditional NFT games. It is a game that raises revenue from advertising, adding value to companies in the real world and providing benefits to players. Traditional players raised millions through advertising. This will be optional and will give exclusive benefits to players who consume it. All income generated here will be sent to the rewards pool. The Treasury System. A large percentage of the commissions generated in-game will be sent here and will be used to keep the economy stable, either by adding liquidity or sending them to the reward pool depending on demand. In addition, the token will have a proof of burn system. Vulcano will be the first NFT game to have its own mini-series, and the revenue generated here will go towards game improvements, expansion, and economy in-game. NFT games are revolutionizing this industry, and you can't be left out. Be part of Vulcano.
So that is something that really excites me, and that is advertising. I've kind of talked in the past about how I felt like games are not taking advantage of this, because in the current, as we have play to earn games, one of the problems that we run into, and lots and lots of games have run into, is that they run into what people call a pyramid scheme. I think that's a very poor way to word it. Saying it's a scheme makes it sound like a scam and then those types of things. But most of the economies that play to earn games have set up are the only source of income is from players. So in order for you have the players that get in early, and they end up making money and are funded by players coming in later. So as long as the game is growing and more players are coming in and it's got a positive growth rate, people are making money, the economy is looking great. As soon as that growth stops, things don't always look so great. You no longer have new players coming in funding the old players, and you can run into some problems, and people can start to lose money, and there can be some issues there. Everything is player funded. If you bring in advertisers, that introduces an external source of revenue. So you no longer have to have game growth, because anybody can build an economy that is looking great and where people are making money when the game is growing. The true long-term games, the games that are really going to be successful, are able to build an economy that is sustainable, where people can make money or be enjoying the game and that type of thing, even if there's not an increase in growth rate. So there's basically advertising is a way to do that. The other obvious way to do that is have players that are willing to lose money. And that sounds really like, in a play to earn game, that sounds kind of funny, saying why would a player be willing to lose money? We've been so accustomed to, oh, we're trying to make money here and all of this stuff. This is gaming, guys. Gamings are supposed to be fun. People have been willing to lose money in games for decades. They pay to play the game, to get enjoyment out of it. So you're going to see that aspect going forward, where as we get more and more fun games to play, those type of players can then finance the players that are, or certain players that are making money off of, and that type of thing. And you can still have a healthy environment. But another way to bring in this external revenue is having advertising that can fund these things. And that's what they talk about here. And I'm really excited to see how that goes and see how the advertising is introduced. Again, in this case, you can turn the ads off, it looks like, so players can kind of control that to a certain extent. But all of these games have so many places where they could sell unobtrusive ads to help fund the game economy, and so far we haven't seen people taking advantage of that. So I'm very curious to see if this system can work really well, and if that catches on. If that catches on with other games. So anyways, I spoke way too long about that, but it's something that I'm super excited about seeing how it works. Because it's a way where everybody can benefit. So here's their actual tokenomics. We'll look at the more traditional economic factors that we look at, and I love these as well. So 48% reward pool, another 1% airdrop, so 49% is essentially rewards there, and that's much higher than you see in a lot of these. We are seeing reward pools that are way too low in a lot of games, and this is not the case here. As far as sales, you've only got 10% private sale, 7% public sale. So only 17% of the token is being sold. And like I mentioned earlier, some of that's going to be sold to people who buy the NFTs as well. So they're people that are likely to be playing the game, and not just investors that are going to dump on it as soon as they've got the chance to take their profit and all of that. So, and I mean, you've got things that you've got to have to manage the economy, like your liquidity, your reserve. Having it for marketing and development and things can be helpful as well. Those are beneficial ways to use their tokens. So overall, I like this, and I have no concerns there. I'm very excited to see what their economy is going to look like. I have not seen anything mentioned about scholarships. I don't know if those are coming or not coming. That would be the one thing I would like to see to really have this take off, because scholarships are they're great ways to get players in the game, and great marketing things as well. And then again, I mentioned this game is very, very early. You can see the roadmap here. I know a lot of you want to know, when is the game going to come out? Alpha launch, only available for Gen 0 NFTs. So another benefit of buying these original NFTs, 3D pre-alpha is not even until next quarter. You're gonna get the alpha in Q3 of 2022. Beta game launch by the end of the year. So they've got a roadmap essentially a year out. And that's going to be something that's interesting to see how this happens, how quickly this actually develops here. But you're still looking at several months before the game is actually here. So this is very, very early, guys. If you're the type that wants to take risk and get into the games as early as possible, so you can buy those at a low price, be able to participate in the IDO sale and all of these things, this is absolutely something you should take a look at. If you're one who doesn't like to take all those risks and you'd rather wait and see the gameplay and all of those things, go follow them on Twitter, go join their Discord, those types of things, so you guys can stay informed about what's going on in the game. Whenever they've got their trailers being released and the gameplay, you can follow that and see how things are developing and hop in later down the line. But one of the reasons I chose this project is because it's so early, and so many people, I get so many messages saying, I want to get in games early, I want to get in games at the beginning, I want to be there when you can make all this money. And being early doesn't necessarily guarantee you make money, guys. So please keep that in mind. Not all games work that way. Sometimes getting at the beginning means you have to wait a long time. So please don't take this as financial advice, but I'm catering to you guys who are asking for early games, because I know there's a lot of you out there that want to see that. So I thought this was a good one to choose. So thank you guys so much. I hope you go check this out. The link to their pre-sale is in the description. The link to their websites in the description. And I want to know, is this something you guys are interested in? Are you going to go out and buy some NFTs? What do you like about the game? What are your concerns about the game? And just let me know what you think. So thank you guys so much. I will see you on the next one.